Last week I spoke about a child who is a sore loser and having a tantrum or reaction if he doesn't get his way in a game, or if he loses, or he doesn't like the rules, and gave some advice about how to handle that. But there's an additional piece, which is our reaction, which is maybe the hardest part to cope with. When we see a child and they're acting in a way that's inappropriate or maybe hurtful towards one of our other children, we have a very natural reaction to have like a surge of feelings and emotions that come from our gut, and it usually travels up and gets into our throat, and it's this sense of rage or disgust that we have this kid who is, doing the same thing over and over again and making our lives hard or miserable, or hurting our other child, or disrespecting us. And there's this whole cascade of effects that come from those thoughts. And what I recommend is, when that happens, I want you to get in touch, first of all, with the actual feeling in your body, because that is a natural reaction that comes from the stress of having to deal with a child that is dysregulated. And what that means to you personally is embodied physiologically, that reaction that you have where you feel like you want to yell, or you feel like you're clenching your fists, or you stop breathing because you're so upset and you want to intervene. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I'm hopeless and I'm helpless and I'm not able to be a good parent. Those things come from your physiology. And so the first thing we need to do is just to get in touch with it. It's okay to let that surge of feeling pass without giving and ascribing judgment to it, which is the part that parents get caught up in trouble when they start ascribing meaning and judgments against themselves. So you might say to yourself, oh my God, there he goes again. My kid is a bad kid and he is going to be aggressive for the rest of his life. That's the thought that comes with the physiology. I want you to be able to notice the physiology, notice the thought, but let that thought ride out. That if that thought is not true, it's a real thought, but it's not a true thought, you would do well to let that go. And that usually takes about 30 seconds. You're going to have to notice this, ride this crest and let it go. And then take a deep breath and reorient to your child, knowing that what you just went through, that's your personal experience. It's embodied, but it doesn't have to be what you're going to act upon. And once you allow yourself to have that self-compassion and ride through that, you'll be more available to your child. You'll be able to remember that you need to take that breath. Literally, take a few deep breaths. Then let that ride out. Get yourself back to center, and then look at your child in the eye and try to notice the soul behind his eye. There's a person inside who's hurting or who's frustrated, and connect with them. Try to give them a soft touch. Try to direct them towards maybe doing something different for a while so that they can re-regulate. But that whole aspect of first connecting with yourself and letting yourself have that surge and knowing that it's going to pass is your key to be able to be present and available to help your child through that crisis.